All right, good morning, everyone. All right, good morning. All right, let's get started. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So, looking at the economic calendar for Wednesday the 26th, we have had the following data released for the US: core durable goods orders month over month, durable goods orders month over month, goods trade balance, and preliminary wholesale inventories, and that's it. All the numbers came in better than expected, except for wholesale inventories, which came in as expected. Now, these days, honestly, I don't know what to think about any of the numbers, if they're going to have a positive or negative impact on the markets, because it's like we're looking at too many things at once right now. So we'll see. Um, we have no other economic data being released except for crude oil. Sorry, except for crude oil inventories, which will be at 10:30 Eastern. But that should not have any significant impact on the stock market. So let's jump right into looking at stocks that were moving yesterday. All right, so in no particular order, we have Mondelez, which was able to surpass target number one. Target number one was at 72.33. Mondelez reached a high of 72.63. Then we have CXAI, uh, which was able to. This one doesn't have a target number one or two, but it was able to top out at 1366, but started the day off trading around $9 a share by the time it started to go up. So pretty substantial move there. All right, next up we have T-Mobile. Clearly, you can see what type of day that T-Mobile had. This was one of the stocks that I didn't see myself as quickly as I usually would, but one of the members in the coaching room caught it. This stock topped out at 149.18. Target number two was 149.36, so it just came short of that, but pretty good move, very consistent either way. Um, Next up, we have CNTG, all right, which topped out at 242, and this stock, not the smoothest movement, but it did make a pretty good move. So, wouldn't say this was one I was watching very closely, but we did, we were very well aware of it. This was one of the stocks that was um, identified fairly early in the session. So for those of you who took advantage of it, good job. Uh, Basically, the stock went from about $1.20 to about 228 or so. So not too bad, but not the easiest to trade either. Next up, we have VIRI, which started off today pushing harder towards highs, but then turn around. This is not something you would short sell. As I always say, don't really short sell stocks under $5. But the first part of the day, it started off in the positive direction, but failed pretty quickly. So um, the first move only is about 20 cents, so not really worth following at the time. Next up, we got Starbucks. which was able to almost get to target number two, which was 111.50. Starbucks topped out at 111.11, so fell short of that, but generally a good move up. Okay, and then a very good move down. In fact, of all the stocks that I saw yesterday for short selling, I think this was the best opportunity because of how it's set up. It had a very nice move up, a very nice transitional move, and then a quick sell off, which was occurring right at the same time that the NASDAQ was already selling off before this happened. So this started to follow suit. That's usually a better trade because once you see the rest of the markets going down and the stock is unable to sustain its highs, then that usually is a better short selling opportunity. So this one worked out pretty well in both directions. Okay, next up we have PTPI. Now PTPI early really exploded to the upside. I definitely didn't catch this as quickly as I should have, but one of the members in the room pointed it out. Good spot by the person who did. I think that was William that spotted this one. So good move up. And after that, not really much you could do here. Although the sell-off here was definitely something that could be exploited since that was a very explosive move down. So I would say approximately 80 cents out of that was definitely doable since it never really came back after it started to sell off. So there you go. So good opportunity there. Meta was fairly bearish all day. Wouldn't say that was one I was actively watching, but it was identified as one of the stocks that was going down, but I wouldn't say it was favored as a short selling opportunity. Pretty choppy, so not really the type of thing you want to focus on if you don't have to. BXRX was a pump and dump, was up pre-market, right? And then as soon as the bell rang, just sold off and sold off and sold off. This is a pattern you're going to see most of the time for the stocks that are moving pre-market. Most of them are not going to keep going. They're going to stop at the opening bell, maybe hesitate for a bit and sell off. Some of them just sell off right away. So for the most part, this one was only selling off. Not really something I would try to short sell since it's under $5, but your call. Next up is Amazon. Now, this was identified as a short selling opportunity, and it turned out to be a good one. That's a more consistent move down, better than Meta. This was able to reach target number one down to 103.08. It was not able to get to target number two, but it reached a low of 102.45 near the close. But very clearly a nice opportunity to short sell. Not the easiest one, but still clearly consistently going down. So that's pretty much all you look for. Next up is Enphase, which is having a bad pre-market, as you can see here. Very sharp decline there off of earnings. That's a horrible earnings report, by the way. Okay, but before the earnings pre-market, this was actually a pretty decent move up right here. Now, it wasn't one of the stocks that I was actively watching, but we did happen to catch it when it started to move up. A number of people asked about the stock, so target number one was 228.36, which I gave to. I'm sorry, not two. It was 228.48, which I gave out as target number one. The stock actually topped out at 228.36 and then sold off. So it didn't actually hit that target, but there was enough there that you should have been able to profit without too much difficulty if you caught the move a little early on. Okay. Next up, we've got INAB, which right here was starting to accelerate to the upside, but then once it got to the previous session's close, which was at $3, then it sold off. So basically all INAB did was it opened lower. At first it was trading lower, then it shot up, did a gap fill to get to $3, and then from there it just collapsed and continued to sell off for the rest of the day. Again, since it's under $5, it's not a short selling opportunity, but obviously the movement down was very consistent. Apple reversed, trend, just like the Nasdaq did. Started off fairly bullish at first, and then after stalling here, it only got about halfway to target number one. Then after that, turned around, sold off. The key is that Apple sold below the price range between the previous day's close and the opening of that day, which occurred right around this line here. So once it crossed over to that other side of the fence, basically, that's where it was pretty clear that it wanted to go down. So after that point, that's all it did. So there was a modest short selling opportunity here, but there were better ones. So just pointing that out. A better one was for short selling was Intel INTC, which we identified fairly early. This never got to target number. Well, actually, it did get to target number one to the downside, but very late in the trading session. It got to that about let's see here, about 10 minutes, just about 12 minutes before the close. It got down to 28.92, but it was one of these short selling opportunities that was identified. Kind of rough on its movement. It took a long time to go down, and the range was not that great either. 29.28 down to 28.92 is not that big of a move, but whatever. It did go down consistently. Next up, we've got Microsoft, which mostly went down, mostly trending lower. Okay. We did identify this early on. It did start to move up at first, but then it just dropped into a bearish trend, able to get down only at the end of the day to target number one to the downside, which was 276.08, but pretty consistently going down. Not the best trend down, but still mostly bearish. And then finally, we have Google, which, similar to Microsoft, started the day off strong. Was definitely moving in the positive direction at first, but then quickly changed direction and then mostly became bearish. All right, so let's look at what's moving pre-market today and see what we can find. Okay, so as of right now, looks like CNTG is active again. Not moving very much though, only 0.61% change in price. It is trading a lot of volume, but I'm not going to put this on our radar for this morning because the amount of range of movement is too small. I don't think it's worth looking at unless it's moving. So I'll skip that. Let's see what else we got. All right, this stock is moving up, but it's still under $1. So I'll just show it to you. PBLA. Since it's under $1, we can't trade it, but nevertheless, it is moving up very sharply. So perhaps at the start of the day, it might end up getting above $1 per share. So I will add it to the list, but just as a possibility, not something I'm going to put on the watch list for the open. Just something to keep on the back burner and alert, all of a sudden alert in case it gets above the target. All right, Riot Blockchain is trading very well. 11% up, 1.2 million shares traded. So we will add that to our radar for this morning. RIOT. Looks like Mara is also moving. That makes sense. We're in the same space. 13% up, 2.7 million shares. So we'll add Mara to our list as well. Mara and Riot, of course, are on our regular list. So we already know about them, but we'll just watch them in particular this morning. CMND presently is up 32%, trading 9 million shares. Looks like it's going to be a pump and dump. It's under $1 right now, so I'll put that as a possibility. Not going to add it to our watch list for this morning, but just something to keep on the back burner. I'll set an alert to let me know where it's at. In fact, I'll just do that right now. And I'll just add an alert to let me know if it gets over $1.05. All right. And let me just do the same thing for PBLA. I forgot to put that in. All right, now I got that too. All right, next up, Activision Blizzard is really down. It doesn't look like that's over earnings. I'm guessing Activision stock plunges as UK regulators say it will prohibit Microsoft merger. I figured that's what it was about. So that's pretty bad for the stock. Currently down 9.71%, 9.3 million shares. We'll add it to our radar to watch at the open. All right, now Microsoft had good earnings results. I didn't really have a strong opinion in favor of tech stocks having good earnings, but they did. Microsoft had good earnings, so 8.27%, 2.4 million shares traded. So pretty good results there. They did beat earnings on EPS. The expectation was $2.21 per share. They came out at $2.45. I'm assuming their forward guidance was good as well. So we'll watch Microsoft at the open. Now, Google did originally jump after earnings yesterday. Earnings came out at $1.17 per share above estimates. However, I don't think their forward guidance was good because if you look at the stock, clearly it's not still going up. So therefore, we will watch Google at the open, but it doesn't appear that the market was that favorable towards its results. And finally, I think let's look at PTPI. Okay, that's not trading enough volume, so that doesn't count. All right, so that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any other stocks that you are looking at, let me know in the comments. Any NASDAQ stocks that are trading at least 1 million shares in volume, pre-market volume, and of course over $1 and are moving actively. If you have any other stocks, let me know. I did not mention SAI, but that I don't think I did. No, but that would qualify. So I'll add SAI to our list. I did not mention that. Amazon. I won't add that to the pre-market. It's not moving enough, but it's okay. I mean, it's moving, but not enough as far as the percent change. PACW. We're basically looking for more aggressive movement than that. Maybe. Let me see. That's good enough. We can add that to our radar. It's already on our list anyway, but since it had earnings, we'll add that as well. PACW. Okay. Coinbase, probably not. But let's see. Well, actually, maybe. Well, I don't know if it's up enough. Doesn't have the right volume grant. It's only traded. It's traded under 600,000 shares, so not enough volume there. Coinbase is already on our regular list, so we're really looking for very, very aggressive stocks, very unusually active stocks. Okay, unusually large price movement, unusually large pre-market volume, things like that. Okay. So anything else? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. For today's pre-market pulse. For any people who are watching, if you're not part of our service, our program, please be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll also see a link in the description at the bottom of this video, um, which will give you more information about us. CXAI, let's see, doesn't look like it's moving that much. Nope, it's not moving hardly at all. So no. It's had good days previously, but right now it's not doing much pre-market. The volume is still under 1 million shares. For stock this price, you definitely want it to be trading over 1 million shares. And the percentage change is basically non-existent. So not really looking like it's wanting to do anything. Once the market opens, we'll see it if it does move, but pre-market, it has to be doing something already for us to look at it at the open. All right. All right, folks. For everyone else, I'll see you in the in the coaching room for the funding program in just a second, in about 10 minutes. Okay. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.